What's up everyone, Danny and Lightning back with another CSR2 video. Today we're checking out the Dodge Challenger SRT Superstock. We're going to do a stage 6 maxed out shift pattern and tune. We're going to show you guys a stage 5 shift pattern and tune. Then we're going to do a review on the car, and then we're going to talk about a live racing setup and see if we can find one like that. Alright, so first off, let's go ahead and show you guys how to drive it and how to tune it when you have it 100% maxed out, and then we'll switch over to stage 5. This is the tune with all the stage 6 and all the fusions installed. Nitrous all the way to the right, final drive all the way to the left, and tire pressure all the way down to 8 psi. So let's go ahead and show you guys how to drive this. But first, we got a dyno time of an 8.061, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Watch this video to the end. Those things would really help me out, guys. Thank you. Alright, so let's go show you how to drive it. What we're going to do is let go of the gas right around number 1 to launch. Instantly shift into second and hit our nitrous. Pretty easy, guys. All good shifts or whatever you want to call it after that. So, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Second nitrous, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. And pretty much all the shifts were in the orange. You're probably gonna top out the needle if you try and get them in the green. Last run 8.054. The run before that was 8.070. Now, if you were to get a 100% perfect run on this car, you would get like a 7.96 something. That's kind of the world record time so far. But we do have a dyno of a 8.061. So what we're running with this car is getting very close to dyno. We're kind of hitting it or maybe slightly beating it depending on how good our run is. So maxed out, not much of a dyno beater. Let's go ahead and switch it over to stage 5 parts and see what it does on stage 5. And thank you to Nitro for CSR for letting me use your account. That makes it possible to do videos like this where I don't have the car upgraded on my personal account. So thank you, Nitro. Let's get this car over to stage 5 and see what it can do. So when you have all the stage 5 parts installed and you fill her up with all the fusions, it's going to be tuned exactly the same. A lot of the new cars, guys, are tuned like this. It's a right, left, left tune, right? You move the nitrous to the right, transmission to the left, tires all the way down to the left. So that's a right, left, left tune. We're seeing a lot of those on a lot of the newer cars. So kind of cool, I guess. And this gives us a dyno time of a 9.379, guys. 9.379 on the dyno. So let's go ahead and do some test runs and we can figure out how to drive this guy and see if it beats the dyno on stage 5. Alright, so on stage 5, if you want to drive this, this is how I'm doing it. So basically what we're going to do is let go of the gas a little bit after 1. The needle will kick back down to like 1,000 RPMs, and even if you're driving it on stage 6 and you get the kickback, still instantly just shift into second gear. It's all good. So you can drive it the exact same way, instant shift into second and nitrous, or you can just kind of do all good shifts and nitrous on second. Either way works on this car, which is pretty cool, and they run very, very similar times. So let's go ahead and show you this. 3, 2, 1, go. Second nitrous, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And I did not get the best shifts right there. All right, I shifted a little bit too early on a couple of those, so it might run a little bit slower. You definitely want the needle to be down in the orange. There we got a 9.291. The last run was a 9.280. So that's actually beating dyno time by a pretty nice amount on stage 5. Now, it didn't beat it much on stage 6, but on stage 5, it's definitely a nice little dyno beater. So that's pretty cool, actually. So let's go do a review on this car and talk about what it's good for and all that stuff. And then we'll see if we can find a nice live racing setup for it. Alright, so this car did about 392 miles per hour on the top speed, which is pretty good. 0 to 60 in 1.1 something, 0 to 100 in 1.8 something, 317 miles on the quarter mile, 392 on the half mile. It's a pretty decent car so far. It's kind of fast, it's running 8.0s, nothing too crazy, right? Not one of the fastest cars in the game. You're going to see 7.9s to 8.0s on this car. So, I don't know, it's decent, all right? As far as live racing, it's not going to be the greatest live racer with this type of setup, but in just a second, I'm going to go ahead and rearrange all the parts. I'm going to pause it, rearrange all the parts, and see if I can find the live racing setup, and then we'll be back. Now, as far as Tempest, all right, this will beat all the Tempest races if you get enough parts installed on the car. Most Tier 5 cars can beat Tempest 1, Tempest 2, and Tempest 3, unless you have one of the like slower, crappier ones. I should say most 4-star and 5-star cars can beat Tempest 1, 2, and 3 if you have enough parts on them. But anyways, so far it's just a so-so car. It looks really cool. I don't know. Good top speed, decent acceleration. But let's go see if we can find a specific live racing setup. Let me pause this and we'll be right back. I just want to say, even though we found this awesome live racing setup, it's a little bit tricky. So we're going to show you a couple of different options as how you can tune it and drive it for live racing, because this one's not as cut and dry and as easy to get into the right lobby as most of the other cars on these low performance point high Evo tunes. So let's go ahead and show you what we got for live racing. This is pretty crazy, but it's still going to work out good if you can figure out one of these things that works right for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you that. All right, guys and gals, we are in luck. We found a great live racing setup. We're trying to get somewhere between 2 to 3 times the amount of Evo points as performance points, and on this we got 660 on the Evo and on the performance points, and 1717 on the Evo. So yeah, we've almost tripled it or over doubled it. So that's actually awesome. All right, so what we want to do is we're going to start with the engine, and we want to put the engine to stock. No upgrades on the engine. Turbo, stage 3. Intake, stage 3. Nitrous, stage 5. Body, stage 3. Tires, stage 3. Transmission, stage 5. So if you set it up just like that and then fill those parts all the way up with the fusions, this is going to be a live racing monster. All right, this will be a live racing monster. Let's go show you the tune and how to drive it, and this is going to be crazy good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and tune it like this, all right? To get it into the 10.8 lobby, we're going to move our nitrous all the way to the right, final drive all the way to the left, tires at 9 PSI. We got a 2 and a 98. Which gives us a dyno of a 10.786, but we should be running in the 10.8 lobbies. What we're trying to do is run as close to 10.8 as possible, and we might need to slow the car down just a little bit, honestly. So if you're winning, slow down before you cross the finish line, guys. We don't want to bust 10.8 because we want this car to stay in the 10.8 lobby. So this one's actually a little bit trickier than normal on these live racing tunes, but if you can keep it in the 10.8 lobby, it will dominate. It will dominate. All right, so we're going to go ahead and let go of the gas just a little bit after number 1. We are going to get the needle kick back, and then we can hit nitrous right away, or we can hit it on second. We probably want to hit it on second, actually. Let's give that a go. 3, 2, 1, go. Whoop, we didn't get the kickback that time, guys. So that time we did not get the kickback, and we hit the needle on second gear. So that start was not quite right. Okay, the start was not quite right on that one. There we ran a 10.815, and that's really right about where we want to be, 10.8, okay? So if you can drive it just like that, that works pretty good as well. But if we do get the kickback, I'll show you what we want to do when we get the kickback. But if you beat the dyno time, remember, if you beat the dyno time or you're getting faster than 10.8, it's going to move you down into the next faster lobby, and then you're going to have a hard time winning because the next faster lobby starts at 10.6, and the car is not running 10.6s, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. That's why I say this one's a little bit trickier to drive than most of the other low performance point high Evo tunes, just because the car is a little weird on how it runs. All right, so this time let's try it again. We're going to let go of the gas just a little bit later and see if we can get the needle to kick back. 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. Second to nitrous. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, And we didn't really need to shift into 8th, but we did. And there we ran a 10.762. And this is why I'm saying if you're winning and you're driving like this, you want to downshift once or twice right before you cross the finish line and try and get that car to run 10.800. So this car is a little bit tricky. Now, the last run we showed you guys, right, where we didn't get the kickback, if you don't get your start just right, it's going to run a 1/10 of a second slower. So this is definitely a trickier car to drive, guys. All right, definitely a trickier car to drive. But yeah, we're doing our best with what we got. So it does have an awesome live racing tune, but it's going to be harder to get this one to work. So you got to have some skill to drive this car. Or if you want, you could actually put the tires back to 8 PSI and move the nitrous down to 89 and 44. So let's go ahead and try a couple test runs on this. This gets the dyno right around 10.8, which is where we want to be, right? So let's try this. Let's try this. Maybe this will be an easier setup for you guys. 3, 2, 1, go. Second in nitrous, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7th. And now that the car is shifting a little bit slower, it's easier to get those perfect starts. And there we got a 10.817. So honestly, this might be the way you want to tune it right here. This car is very tricky. So we gave you a couple of different things you can try and figure out which one works best for you as far as the live racing tune and shift pattern. Okay, let's try and get a run with the kickback. Check this out. 3, 2, 1, go. And that was not it either, was it? So it's a little harder to get the needle to kick back, but if you drive it just right, it's going to run in the 10.8s, okay? It's going to run in the 10.8s. There we got a 10.9 that time, so your start, getting just the right start is very important on this car. So bottom line, it's a really decent car with a nice live racing setup, but the live racing setup is very tricky and weird, and you're really going to have to pay attention to how you're driving it to make it good at live racing, all right? Hopefully the whole live racing setup I showed you guys wasn't confusing. It took me quite a while to get this video made and all figured out because it's a little on the weird side. But anyways, I think that wraps the video up. Nice car. Not ideal for everybody. Not everybody's going to love this. Some people are going to love it. But bottom line, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We would definitely appreciate that a lot. To help out your favorite YouTubers, guys, always watch their videos to the end if you have the time. YouTube keeps track of all kinds of different stats. And, you know, those are some of the main stats. And, guys, don't forget to ask questions, right? If you have questions, ask them in the comments, man. I'm here for you guys. I have this channel. I made it to help you guys out. So if you have questions, feel free to ask. Leave a comment. Ask whatever, and I'll do my best to answer. All right? Catch you guys later. Have an amazing day. You guys are all awesome. See ya.